How's everybody doing? Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I go about buying motorcycles. So as you can see, I've got three bikes. If you've been watching my channel, you know I have three motorcycles. I have the Royal Enfield Interceptor there that you see on the left. I've got this Kawasaki Vaquero in white, which is a gorgeous looking motorcycle in my opinion. And I've got this thing, my latest edition, this awesome BMW R18. Absolutely love this machine. So how do I come to own these three motorcycles? And I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I go about this. So I think the first thing you'd probably have to agree with me on is these are not the three motorcycles that you would typically find in a motorcyclist garage. Can we agree on that? I mean, if you're a Harley guy, you're going to have Harleys. And I've owned three of them, by the way. They were all good machines. And then, there's Yamahas and, of course, Kawasaki's. I have a Kawasaki, but there's Hondas and Yamahas and Suzuki's. And I've had all of those in the past. So how did I end up with these three bikes? The short answer is research. Lots and lots of research. So what do I mean by that? It's buying and selling motorcycles. And by the way, people think you have to be rich to buy and sell motorcycles. It's not true. In fact, not being rich is one of the reasons I got into motorcycles in the first place. I can get a high performance motorcycle for $10,000. I can't get a car that will do what these bikes will do for less than $80,000. So that was one of the things that got me into it in the first place. But then there's something else about motorcycling, about being on two wheels, about being out in the wind, about being able to cut through traffic, about being able to just leave cars behind whenever you want to. There is a freedom and a cool factor that's almost impossible to deny. So how did I come to these three bikes? Well, like I said, research. So research takes a couple of forms. One is buying and selling a lot of motorcycles, trying a lot of bikes, seeing what actually works for me. And people think it takes a lot of money to buy a lot of motorcycles, but not really. If you think about it, in many, many cases, what you're doing is you're putting your money into this tangible asset. You're putting it into this bike. But especially if you buy used motorcycles, they really don't depreciate that much. So when you're ready to trade in a bike or sell it, you can get a lot of that value back out. The result is, in some cases I actually make money selling a motorcycle and buying another one, or break even on a trade-in. I've made money on trade-ins, or worst case, it might cost me a couple $1,000s to go from one bike to another. It certainly doesn't cost me $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 every time I buy a bike, because I've gotten into it, I've built up this equity, and I usually have something to trade in or sell. So how did I get these three motorcycles? Well, here's my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, and this goes back to research, and research is two things. It's YouTube videos and CycleTrader.com, and actually a third thing, checking the inventory of local motorcycle dealers and doing that on a more or less constant basis. So what does that mean? So YouTube videos. I'm always watching YouTube videos about motorcycle reviews, different kinds of motorcycles, and there are many different kinds of motorcycles: dirt bikes, adventure bikes, cruisers, standards, touring bikes. The list goes on, and that's another thing I've done. I've tried a lot of different kinds of motorcycles. And so by buying and selling a lot of motorcycles, one thing I've learned is what kind of motorcycle am I interested in? Do I want an adventure motorcycle? Do I want a standard, etc.? And I've had an adventure bike. I've had lots of cruisers. I've had standards. I've had a sport bike or two. I've tried a lot of different things. One of the things I learned is I bought a Kawasaki X300, which is sort of a small adventure bike. I was taking that down dirt roads. I learned that I really don't want to go down a dirt road, or at least not a trail. I don't want a trail ride because I kept crashing and injuring myself. I found out that a bike like this Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 will very happily go down a dirt road. Another nice thing about a standard motorcycle like this Interceptor is that they're small, they're light. They're very easy to maneuver. Now, I had a Honda CB300R, and that was a fun bike, but it was a little too small for me, and it didn't have enough top end power. It was kind of limited with that 300cc engine. This Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 with this parallel twin 648cc motor with almost 50 horsepower is awesome. It's great. This thing, I can just wring it out. I can have so much fun on this motorcycle. And I learned that by, doing a lot of YouTube videos, learning that everybody loved this bike. All the motorcycle journalists love this bike. All the motorcycle publications love this bike. I bought it. It's a fantastic motorcycle. So what about the Vaquero? Well, the Vaquero is a great cruiser / touring machine. It's got this beautiful fairing, as you see. It's, great wind protection. I throw a little extra visor on top, or even just run it with a standard windshield. It's great. It's got, these beautiful hard saddlebags built in. I put some highway pegs on this thing, put my feet up. This is very much like Harley Davidson Street Glide or Ultra Glide. Not Ultra Glide, Street Glide or Road Glide. But it costs half as much. Half as much money. And again, I learned that through research, YouTube videos. Bought the thing. I love it. It's a great motorcycle. A great addition to my collection. And so back to this BMW R18. How did I come by this guy? Well, again, YouTube. Watching reviews of what's new and what's come out and what's exciting the motorcycle press. And this bike captured everyone's imagination. So there was the basic R18 that came out with the fishtail pipes. People were mixed on that. They said the seat was too small and hard, and it just seemed the bike was a little bit rough around the edges. Well, then this BMW R18 Classic comes out. It's got a comfortable seat, it's got heated grips, it's got cruise control, it's got the windshield, it's got the saddlebags, and all the reviews on YouTube are, hey, this is a much better bike than the first R18. Well, that's pretty interesting. Then, on top of that, I'm always looking at Cycle Trader, right? What are these things going for? And they're pricey bikes. Well, my local dealership in Myrtle Beach, they had this used R18 Classic, only 1,300 miles on it. I went and looked at it. The thing is mint. It's in perfect condition. And they wanted thousands of dollars less than book on this thing. It's like, are you kidding? Sign me up. And so that's what's worked for me. And I think it'll work for you too. If you're interested in motorcycles, get on YouTube and start, searching for motorcycle videos. And look at videos of different kinds of motorcycles, different price ranges, different types. Learn what these things cost. Learn what the motorcycle journalists and just average people like me are saying about these bikes. Then go to CycleTrader.com and search for these bikes. See how much people are asking for them. See how much the dealers are asking new. See how much people are selling them for used with low miles. Very, very enlightening. Then take the plunge. Buy a motorcycle. If you can pay for it outright in cash, do it. If you have to pay for it in installment loans, do that. But then you have a bike. Try it out. See what you like about it. And again, then if you want to sell it, trade it in, you're going to have most of that equity in that bike. You're going to get most of that value out of that bike. That's what I do. And I've come by a very interesting, in my opinion, collection of 3 great motorcycles that I can't see parting with any one of them. So I hope this has been of some use to you. If it has, great. If not, well, that's life, buddy. So in any case, thanks for watching, and bye for now.